everyone, Adam Bjornson here. You know what? It is a beer kind of, is that a Friday? No, it's a Saturday. And I've had a few beers, but it's good to be amongst the concourse here, amongst all the Blazers peeps. I will let you know, make sure you are tuning into the podcast, BlazerTag, all right? It is the best Blazer information that you are going to get.
This week in BlazerTag, falling in the power rankings, Blazers split the week with 2 wins, beer bets, Lillard buzzer beaters, and special guests.
Woo! Special guest announcement!
That was probably the best clinic we've ever done. All right, welcome to episode 7 of BlazerTag.
Howdy, folks.
Guys,
oh, indeed. Here we are.
made it to November.
Hey, you're still holding...
unopened prize beer.
Yeah, he snagged, because you didn't have an open beer.
Yes.
He snagged one of the beers, and I guess that might as well be where we open.
I was gonna say, how's the diet going? We want an update.
Yeah,
the fans
diet's going good. Yeah, I my beer consumption is limited to basically this show. So, yeah, losing weight, working out, getting buff. You know, soon these guns are gonna overwhelm the set here, and these guys are gonna be sitting like way out here.
I mean, I tried to do that in the first place.
I cracked this beer open on that nipple right there. I'm just letting you know. He's getting
I'm
in shape.
concerned about the sweat.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Lots
sure.
of weightlifting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can cut glass with these diamonds. So, with that said,
Shine bright.
So this week, since I won, spoiler alert, this last week we had to choose where the Blazers would fall in the power rankings, fall or go up. You know, given the week's record, and
I'm bitter against the tiebreakers.
I
feel as though it was
felt
alphabetical.
like I was screwed because, and I mean, it still stands to it land exactly there. The Blazers post tiebreakers did wind up at 5, which is exactly where you were at, Brandon.
Yep.
Ryan had 4, and I was stuck having to pick between 3 and 6, and I didn't like either of those options. And I had to choose 3.
I landed in
what else
because
you
he's
gonna
the
do?
real fan. You know,
I landed in the happy place in which I could not lose. I could only win or I could not lose. Those were my options.
Well, and that's where I was shocked that you put Whitty in the center. You know, but the likelihood of being
I couldn't put myself in the center, which is my favorite place to be. So I had to put one of you two in the middle, and I would rather bet in the Blazers going high than going low, and they wound up in exactly your spot, even though it's a hell of a week.
It's a 3-way tie for 4th. I mean, like, if this is why I tried to throw it out there. You can re-roll the tape on last week's episode, and I said tied for 4th. Granted, I called it with Houston, but apparently they had an amazing week in which Harden decided to throw up all the points.
In the text thread, we decided the tiebreakers would give it to Brandon. I was actually tie for 4th. I just figured it would be you.
No. We all looked at the standings. You go to ESPN's website at this very moment. It says 5th, so the man gets to enjoy his winnings.
And there he is, lifting his beer above his head.
Barely, because I had
Arm Day 2.0.
Man.
So, good gentlemen, here's a fresh squeeze for you, a fresh squeeze for you, and I'm gonna pop this on my nipple for myself. Ooh,
Here, I got a luchador to open that for you.
still break the bottle. Ooh,
I'm actually concerned about his head popping off here.
and that almost
I
counts as a beer
will, I will
dropped.
just say
Now that is
It's
a,
a
bottle
cap.
popped. It's a cap on the ground. It doesn't count.
There we go.
It's still good.
Yeah,
It's still
I
good.
collect these things for no reason.
Anyways,
That's not
so
true.
Brandon, you won the beer bet. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Cue the clapping soundtrack. Yeah, down below. No, I'll add it in. Don't worry. I'll add plenty of it.
So, I suppose now
jump
now
right
that
up.
now that we've let Brandon load, we should probably move on.
Yeah,
Talk about,
quickly, very quickly.
So notes. Ryan, what you got for us? What happened this week?
Well, I mean, right off the bat, we have the Blazers dropping to 12th in the power rankings.
Cue the booing sound.
Down 2 spots from last week after their 2-2 week. In that regard, I'm kind of feeling as though I owe a slight apology to the Timberwolves because they're actually playing their asses off this year, and they're sitting there ranked at number 4. You know, Let's see if they can maintain it through the season. But I got to give credit where credit is due, and they're leading the division right now. So
they're making it work.
And I'm pretty sure I called that before the season started.
Can't stop
I can't
gloating,
stop.
can
Yeah, I get in the mode of winning, and I can't help myself. However, speaking of power rankings, there are a few things. I have a few bones to pick with the power rankings.
Oh, he's picking.
I'm picking bones.
Are you going right at the Golden State Warriors?
I'm going right
popping
up top
to
here.
number 1?
Golden State, number 1. In the same conference as Rockets, who holds a current better record. Duh, what is up with that?
Well, I mean,
technically, their offensive rating is better than it was last year. Their defensive rating is better than it was last year. Their 3-point
win-loss
shooting
record is better. Oh, wait.
No,
No,
that
it's
is the
not.
only stat that they are being subpar in compared to last year. Everything else is up, and so I feel as though a lot of analysts and reporters and all that are giving them the benefit of the doubt on potential.
I get that. So here's my beef, though. Isn't power rankings? This is week 4 power rankings. This is not NBA power rankings for the whole season. This is a snapshot in time. It's like the Cavs. They got ranked 10th with a 4-6 record. And the Blazers have a 6-4 record. They got dropped to the 12. And OKC has a 4-5 record. So we're at least over 500. We're a 600 season. And these people have, they have more loss than win.
Yeah, but at this point, we haven't changed anybody's mind that we're going to win the playoffs over any of them.
But we've yet to have a week where we fall below 500.
Doesn't matter. We're the kids that are coming out from the bottom up, and we have to work our way up. The kids at the top of the ladder always get the benefit of the doubt.
We are the traditional C students. So these guys right now, they're scoring D's, but they're last year they were all straight A students. By the end of the term, they'll have it figured out. That's what the folks making the rankings think. They just believe.
It's good to know
It's
that
they have faith.
Grading on a curve. There you go.
I suppose it doesn't get worse than the Pistons, who last week were leading the East and we're at 15th in the power rankings. So and now they're 9 and they're second. I'm pretty sure Whitledge farted right there.
That was the chair.
That is not the chair.
No, I will get the chair to do it again.
Right here.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So
if I farted, you'll all be chased out of the room,
yeah.
and you will see those guys running.
I'll probably vomit. I have before. But, in light of the fact that our power rankings did drop, going into more news, the Blazers did, win 2 out of the 4 games, so they split the week. I can't even speak right now. But are we all happy to see Nurk, CJ, and Dame fit into that powerful big 3 role?
I think it took a little adversity to pull it out.
Yeah.
And also I think it took a little bit of just the ass whooping of the year thus far from Toronto to kind of start to turn
Toronto
things
game.
around.
Mm-hmm. See, and I was kind of curious about that because it had come out right before the Toronto game that Nurk was having some sort of back issues. He was seen with like a heating pad or cooling pad or whatever kind of pad on his lower back, and so there was that kind of like, oh, is that the cause of his slow start? But immediately after that, even though they did lose the next game to the Jazz, the 3 of them started coming out, and I think Ryan, me and you have had numerous little text conversations about it. It all is predicated on their pick and roll.
Whoa, wait a minute. You guys are having side conversations?
No, we're actually having conversations that you're clued in on, but you're not keeping up with.
It's a group text thread.
Yeah, sorry. You're right.
Usually it's 2 of the 3 of us talking at any given moment.
Because I have no reception where I work. It's very unfortunate. And you'd think working for the government that you'd have some perks like, Wi-Fi.
No, that takes
maybe
away
not.
taxpayer dollars, and we're not willing to.
We
we're not
actually
willing to foot the
Wi-Fi
bill for
routers
you.
are just not hooked up. So there you go.
But
love there.
my opinion on Nurk and the big 3 gelling together is all predicated on the pick and roll, and I think over the totality of all 4 games that we saw last week, it's very apparent because. When the Blazers' offense was prospering in any of the games, even in the Toronto ass whooping, you were seeing a pick and roll with Lillard, McCollum, Nurk.
Prospering in the Raptors game.
Yeah, that's not a thing. Especially not
there was a point in time where we were only down by 2, and I'm counting that as prospering.
You mean when the game started and they shot 2 points and we
yes.
were 0-2?
Yes,
Okay.
and I'm pretty sure roll back the tape, and it was probably a Nurk pick and roll, and from there on, it was all downhill.
Well, and what I would say to that, because our argument has been primarily that Nurk plays better when Vonleh is on the floor. That's my position, and it seems to have come very, very clearly true in the last couple games. Now, your argument is, and it does time out really well, that as soon as Vonleh shows up, they start running a lot more pick and rolls and running it a lot harder. And I think that's probably because, realistically, I don't know that they trust anybody else to be the 4 to send Nurk out that far for a pick and roll, or at least maybe Nurk doesn't, to still cover on the inside for that chunk of time. I mean, yeah, Vonleh hasn't been, I don't know that he's been lights out or anything like that since he's shown up.
He had the best plus minus out of any Blazer on the floor last night, but you go and look in his stat column, he's like 1 of 3 with like 4 rebounds and 0 assists and a turnover, but he somehow ends up as a plus 27 or something like that.
And I think it's that whole a small sample size. Yeah, he's played 2 games, but I think the other side of that is sometimes the whole is better than the sum of its parts, and he's one of those parts that makes all the other parts look really good.
This is true.
He's the buffer. He gives everybody else the ability to do things because he's a pretty decent defender, and he's really, really fast. He'll crash some boards, and maybe he won't get a rebound, but maybe he'll get in the way of somebody else who might have stolen it or just even out the numbers for Nurk.
Well, and I kind of feel as though Damian Lillard decided he wanted to hack my account and look at some of my stats. But one of the things that I'm happy about with Vonleh returning to the lineup is he's another guy who can bang down low and can score down low.
Yeah.
And the Blazers up until this last game against OKC were ranked the lowest in the NBA for field goals made within 5 feet of the rim. In fact, they actually sported the top 5 or the bottom 5 players for field goal percentage within 5 feet of the rim. And Lillard, Harkless, Nurkic, Davis, all part of that group.
And then suddenly last night, they must have read your Twitter feed or something, and they all said, oh, no, we can fix that.
Yeah. Or Lillard just saw Adams and said, ooh, gimme.
Yeah, well, Adams suffered last night.
Oh, yeah.
But we can get to that game here in a couple minutes.
Oh, yeah. We'll recap that for sure.
So let's talk the Toronto game. I don't know if there's anything. I mean, the world has kind of just kicked the Blazers while they were down on that. I don't know that I have anything new to add to the conversation other than, oh, my heart.
Yeah. How did we all feel during... Okay, so we all watched that game together. Yeah. And I actually think, though, we were kind of saved some sadness when you accidentally fast-forwarded all the way through the third quarter, basically.
That was, I don't know how it happened.
Green and his video malfunctions, what?
Doesn't bother me at all. It was worth it.
Sadly, you couldn't accidentally fast-forward through the second quarter.
Well,
that would have been a lot better.
I was referring to podcast videos, too. I'm just going to bundle it all in there.
Oh, man. Let's not lie, though. That second quarter, I mean, even as a thought experiment, you kind of just had to watch it. You kind of just had to see how it happened. Because if you leave that out, the rest of that game was bad, but it wasn't atrocious.
No.
That second quarter was bad on levels never seen in my lifetime.
A single field goal from Evan Turner saved them. And that saved them still equated to only 6 frickin' points.
Yeah.
Awful.
No. Yeah. I mean, I think we committed to drinking more shortly after that happened.
Oh, yeah.
It was a good decision.
So my wife...
I'm actually pretty sure Stott started drinking on the bench if the camera would have been on.
My wife
kind of like
came home from work, I think it was Tuesday night, after listening to our podcast last week that we recorded seconds before we went and watched that game. And she said, oh, you guys, I feel so bad for you. Because I just listened to how much you guys thought the Toronto game looked like it was our game. And then you guys were basically all just sad sacks of human beings by the end of that game last night.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she can give us all counseling to cope with the wounds.
It's probably necessary.
We're not paying her fees, though.
Let's get some better insurance. Moving right along into
the next letdown game.
I had the inconvenient thing of I watched the first quarter. I had a meeting with some clients, and then I was going to I turned on the DVR to go back to where I started, and somehow it immediately started live. I know, video malfunctions. This is the theme of the episode.
Good job, Google TV. Or
It was YouTube TV.
Yeah.
And not
We'll
only
get
did
into
it
that
start
later.
live, the live thing is whatever, but it started live right as Lamar Hurd read the score. So it's not like it was, because if I see basketballs moving, whatever, I'm not paying attention, whatever. But if I hear the score, well, what's the point of going back? And so then I watched the last couple minutes of the third and the fourth and was painfully disappointed.
All I got to say about that game, Lillard, 5 turnovers. McCollum, 6 turnovers. I don't care about their shooting numbers. The guards, they've shown, especially CJ, have shown a propensity to commit turnovers.
Say what you want about Nate McMillan, and there's a lot good and bad to be said about that man. But we were averaging, less than 2 turnovers a game?
Yep.
His entire time as coach?
Oh, because that
There's something
man
to
had
be
the
said
world's
there.
shortest leash on somebody. You start committing turnovers and throwing lazy passes or dribbling like crap, you're out. He doesn't care who you are.
Now, that said, I'm just going to say this emphatically. I'm going to look at the camera, even if most of you are listening on audio. I'm making eye contact here. Stotts over McMillan every day, because at least now it's fun to watch again. I mean, mind you, it's been 5 years, so it's not even at least now, but it's fun to watch the game.
Has it been 5 years? I thought it was 6 years.
No,
It's been, where are we at here? It was,
I thought this was 6 years.
This start of his 6th year, I believe.
okay.
I
Yeah,
could-
it's
I
5
could-
complete years.
okay.
I
There we go.
could be wrong, but also at the same point in time, I also feel that you're saying Stotts over McMillan because Stotts has an awesome bow tie game going on.
I am in favor of Stotts' bow tie game, his suit game in general. Whenever he busts out the old school retro Jack
the
Ramsey
70s
tribute
look. Oh, I
stuff,
love that.
yeah.
and he does it so well. And speaking of, we're just gonna sidebar here for a second on that. There are rumors of a plaid Blazer jersey.
Oh, the league
how did that not
jersey,
make
the,
notable
the
news?
city
jersey?
jersey.
How
Yes.
did that
If-
not make notable news?
If that is a real thing and not just a leaked rumor,
We will all wear them on an episode.
I wanted a Dame jersey for Christmas anyway. Hi, wife. I hope you're listening. Now that said,
Throwing it out there, we're recording on my birthday, 27th. It's a Monday.
well, hey.
I'll take a jersey there.
Anyway,
My birthday's
but
December 30th.
If they
Near
have,
Christmas.
if they have that city
Listeners.
jersey, the plaid jersey, come out. I mean, I don't know that I could wait till Christmas. Let's just take my money. It is retro and it is beautiful and it works with the day. Anyway, all of that said, Stotts, he's a good dressing man. I'm
Yeah.
in favor of it, and he also doesn't look as pissed off as Nate McMillan did.
No.
Anyway.
Nate McMillan always just looks like somebody just kicked his puppy. He just, no matter what, he would just
True fact.
always had that grimace on his face. But anyways, to bring it back to the Jazz game, that was Noah Vonleh's return from a shoulder injury. Came into the game off the bench, 5 points, 4 rebounds, 13 minutes. It was a good game. The one sad part is that Vonleh returning to the lineup earned both Collins and Swanigan a did not play coach's decision.
Yeah,
Don't
well,
agree.
what happens?
Don't agree with that.
And
It might have helped. It might not have. I don't know. I mean, realistically, you can't say playing fewer guys who are inexperienced would help. But I've got some pro Swanigan things to say, but that'll come when we go over the OKC game. But still, regardless,
AKA
it was
the
a good
one
game.
game I didn't watch.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay because I missed half of this one and I missed all of the Laker games. So you guys get to talk at
am I
its
the only one who has watched all of the games this week?
You are the only one.
I decided to be a good husband this week or last week and going to date night with the wife.
Yeah.
So I had to have phones off, no texting. I literally opened my phone up to 100 texts. It's like, bzz, 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 bzz.
Yeah, so the two of us were, 97 of those?
Yeah.
I think we
The
probably,
entire
if you were to
thing.
go back on that, I was going to say 100 texts is lowballing it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
we
say
were.
that's about 2.
We were going nuts during that Thunder game.
Yeah.
There was a point in time that the wife said, if that's gonna keep up the entirety of the game, I'm gonna need your phone on silent right now. Otherwise, leave the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every
No,
sen-
my wife was trying to snuggle on me at the end of the game, and she was like, "You're more interested in talking to Ryan right now than you are to me." Okay, she didn't say that,
It's
but
all
she
right.
gave me one
Glad
of those
to know I'm not
looks.
the only one.
I can't clink there, so
Yeah, no, you were
My
enjoying
wife-
Thor Ragnarok, which I hope to enjoy later this week.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
good
no,
movie.
I made the smart decision, and
especially at the end when No.
Die in a fire.
Oh no! On
That's what
that
you said last night.
No, so on the better part.
When I thought
So
of it,
I
yeah.
took my kids to see that while the wife was busy earlier on. What was that? Saturday? Yes, on Saturday.
Unimportant detail.
But yeah, so I took the kids to see it, and so then Sunday during breakfast, my son, knowing that my wife still wants to go see it, and she didn't come see it with us, starts giving her all the spoilers of the movie, and she's like, "You know I haven't seen it, right?" He's like, "But this part was awesome." Granted, 6-year-old boy, he just loved the fact that Hulk was in there and punched things, whatever.
Well,
but
who
he's
doesn't love
ruining
that?
like half the movie for her, and she's just at the end of it walking around the
But
kitchen
Jeff
going,
Goldblum,
la 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 la.
he saves the world and he's not a president. Oh wait, no, sorry, I was thinking of Independence Day there.
Yeah, Jeff
Anyway,
Goldblum is awesome.
But all right, so to bring it back to the Jazz game, we had the Vonleh return, and because the basketball gods hate us, if one player returns from injury, another player must leave from injury. And Aminu got the crap beat out of him that game.
Minu, we hardly knew you.
Yeah, no. In the first half, he makes a drive into the paint, goes for a rebound, whatever, comes up holding his wrist.
Damn you, universe.
Yeah. Second
hard.
half, does the same play, comes up holding his wrist and limping, leaves the game, and now we're without Aminu for like the next 2 to 3 weeks because he has a right ankle sprain.
All I see in the notes here are ball sucks. I don't get that.
That's because you're on the
Lakers,
wrong game.
Lakers, the Laker
There we go.
games.
So
Scroll up, technology.
I thought that was
on that Utah game. I have a question. Maybe I'm just not following national games enough.
Chair.
dude. That's totally for
Chair. It
Adding
was
a
the
new column.
chair.
Fart's done tonight.
No, that was the chair.
Question:
Do we need to buy
Does-
Nurk a cup?
Does Ricky Rubio not suck anymore?
Oh, you're gonna make me make my full apology tour, aren't you?
I mean, he's perpetually been one of those guys that not could have been, but like almost is. Like his entire career, he's been one of those. Look how great he is at handling the ball, but he can't shoot. Dude, fucking shot a lot.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing Rubio stat lines: 2 points, 27 assists, and like 4 rebounds. He decided to go off for like 27 points and 2 assists.
Let's clarify. I'm used to seeing Rubio shooting. He made the shots.
Yeah, that's actually fair.
And I was pointing out earlier too, as well, is that what is it with the Blazers in bringing out the best in teams that we expect to lose? Like,
Yeah,
like we play these teams, and they're
Well,
and, like Rubio has the best.
see,
in
I
teams
the
in
Suns
play.
are still
actually-
waiting to get the benefit
yeah.
of that call.
Well, they
I
almost
actually
did.
disagree. This season, historically, oh yeah, but this season, I mean, okay, so Utah's the
All I
only
have is historically.
the only crappy team that's really done anything to us.
Cap bottle.
Gotcha.
I mean, so the Raptors are good this year, and they fucked us up.
Well, the Raptors were good last year.
Yeah.
And the year before.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And they fucked
The
us up
Bucks,
then too.
the Bucks are on the rise, and Giannis had the game of his life, and they beat us.
Giannis has been having the season of his life so far. That man
Yeah.
is earning
Yeah.
every freaking cent of his paycheck.
He's
so
also
far.
getting called the next LeBron James, which may be a little overreaching.
Yeah.
Personal
but he's
belief-
no
damn
pun intended
good.
with his
Hold on.
10-foot reach.
personal belief. You cannot call a man the next another player when that other player is still in the league.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because LeBron has no intentions on leaving the NBA, NFL, NBA anytime soon.
Still hung up on that Seahawks game.
And so, moving on from the
But
Jazz
that's
game.
That's it. I mean, realistically, the Blazers are doing pretty decent.
There's only one other mention I want to make about the Jazz game. How did you all feel about that Nurk nut shot? When the league came out and said, okay, that wasn't intentional, I don't think I've disagreed with the league call more because I personally feel as though I saw hands on the shoulder and a knee flying up.
Yeah.
It was Draymond Green-esque.
Yeah, I don't know that I would actually go that far. I could
It would look
see how it
intentional.
could be seen as not intentional. I mean, yeah, I saw the hands on the shoulders, but I couldn't tell that the hand. It wasn't like he was doing the Billy Blanks Tybo, grab him by the shoulder, lift up your knee. It was a lot more like I'm trying to run and I'm trying to get around you and I'm trying to move you while I
Kind
run.
of like Draymond Green naturally falling and kicking his feet up into people's nuts. Yeah, right.
No, it's just
Yeah, the thing is, like,
I would say that it isn't conclusively intentional. I would say it is lightly intentional. I'm still a homer. I still tend to lean probably. I feel like I maybe even be going more irrationally in the favor of it. Could happen. I'm kind of not convinced that it was a certain like flagrant. We're going to, I'm gonna hurt him as much as it was a. Well, I'm gonna get going. Oh, you're in the way. Oh well, and.
In all honesty, even though I'm a homer for flagrant calls of the week, I would give it to that one more than I would the one that actually got called. But we'll touch on that later.
We're going to touch on that later, but I would say that was the lesser of two intentional hits to Nurkic's face.
Yeah, see, when I watched that nut shot, I was looking at more the nonverbal or the non-physical. I looked at his eyes, and his eyes had intent. Intent to bust balls. So there you go.
I looked into his eyes and I saw a soulless, vicious, not murderer, a nut shotter.
He had intent.
He was Rochambeauing.
Anyways, so let it be said right here that on November 2nd, the big three emerged.
Oh,
that's what she said?
Yeah. That's what. Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
And here we are, folks. No.
Yes. So I'm actually very excited about this because I have been hoping and waiting for this moment all fucking season. Am I right?
Yeah, no, this is one of the games that was on my checklist for games I'm excited to
which
see.
Which one of us blows our cuss word limit? And I would always bet on me. Thank you guys.
I've actually consistently marked this show as non-decided yet, even though we know it's an explicit show. But I'm trying to cater to a broad base.
Hi, kids.
Yes.
Do you like cuss words?
Go to bed. You're up too late.
Do your parents listen to this on the way to church in the morning? All right, probably shouldn't.
Make sure you repent when you get there.
We know
Hi,
we
adults. Do you have problems with your children hearing cuss words? Well, fuck that shit. Jesus probably cussed. We don't know.
Yes.
But he sure made some good wine.
Yeah. Well, and
automobiles.
And there's
in the
words
Bible.
that he used. I mean, we don't know which words were on the use and don't use list in that time. But at one point, the Apostle Paul, at the very least, was like, "I count everything as lost." But lost, that word in Greek, it's actually the same word they use for dung or shit. So, I mean, everything that's not Jesus, I call that shit. Now, that may not be exactly what he said in the same connotation. It could have been crap, poopy, or deuce. But either way, I mean, that's another biblical.
So now that we've reeled this back in,
going back to the big three.
Blazers Lakers, the first game that the big three showed up. Lillard finished 32 points, McCollum 22 points, Nurk 28 points,
and Vonleh was there helping everybody do what they do.
Also, the first nationally televised game of the season for the Blazers, so I'm at least glad that they pulled out a win and somewhat made it interesting, needlessly.
Yeah.
And it was also great to see Ball score approximately 0 points.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Now we get down to the thing of
capital.
Wait,
now see,
sucks.
I didn't watch that game. So are you telling me that awful defender Damian Lillard stopped amazing rookie of the year?
No, he didn't take any attempts. He took 2 attempts.
Yeah, 0 for 2.
Yeah. Oh, but the coach said he could have put more energy into his game. Like everyone's defending Ball like he's like the next Messiah. Like this guy, just
Again,
wait.
His dad is a marketing freaking
If
genius.
he puts forth the effort, he'll kill it.
On a related note, I bought some Big Baller brand sneakers, and those things are
Can we
comfy.
light them on fire, please?
No, I'm kidding. I didn't.
Thanks.
I'm not. I don't have that much money to literally burn.
Plus, you'd wear them once, they'd break, and...
Well, they're not Dame 4s or anything. No. By the way, wife, Christmas shopping is coming up soon. Damian Lillard 4s.
So essentially, if it has anything with the letter O, Dame or 4 or...
Just give me just give me all the damn things.
Lillard.
But anyway, so with the Lakers game, 13-game win streak over the Lakers. That's a plus.
Still stays strong. I like it.
So.
In a related note, I tended to notice that YouTube just went crazy, and not just YouTube, like Facebook. Everywhere I looked, there were all of these compilations of Damian Lillard.
Is it a look back?
Scoring go-ahead, winning the game, glorious, wonderful shots. All of these compilations starting in the distant past of his rookie year back in 2012, all the way to present. So Did that game end in an interesting way, gentlemen?
I think it came close to it. I believe Lillard may have scored some sort of basket and left 0.7 seconds on the clock.
Oh,
and
okay. So roughly, if you've got a watch somewhere in the neighborhood of your wrist when that happens, roughly what would you say was the approximate?
I think we say that
time?
was. Hold on, that's about Lillard time, right?
Oh, that's what that is.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that was.
I also believe that's referred to as vinegar strokes, because that was absolutely crazy, and that was going to be our shot of the week here. So,
man, he's reaching back
just
way
to
away
let you
from the
know,
microphone to get that vodka.
Yeah. So we weren't even given any credit to anything that happened in the Thunder game. As soon as it came down to that, unless it would have been less than 0.7 seconds left on the clock, we were giving it to Lillard.
Well, we knew that. I mean, how do you beat a game winner? Just in general.
And especially when the Blazers open up their next game, showing a video compilation during a timeout of all of Dame's 3-point game winners or that crazy little 2-point basket. But when they open it up with that, you got to give the man credit, and we're going to drink to that man because it is a beautiful
the man,
shot.
as Wheels says, with ice water in his veins.
So Wheels, come back soon, please.
So we're
Actually,
gonna.
no, he's been doing it a few times.
No.
I heard one game he
he's
did.
Still out. He's still out.
Did he? I wonder if he
sure I heard him.
left. I heard him like 2 weeks ago.
He did
I thought I heard
one
him.
game, and then he removed himself again.
So I have the game queued up here, or the shot queued up. I'm also going to be putting it right there, somewhere down below.
Or for those of you listening on audio, we're going to display by play.
Lillard.
All right.
Damian
Lillard with
I'm
the ball.
glad to see that Brandon actually brought it up. Apparently, my laptop was too heavy last week, so.
All right, Green, take it away.
Dame's got the ball. Dribbling through the legs.
Oh,
The defender just
with
gave him a
0.7 seconds left.
Oh man, the defender looked like a starfish sailing somewhere in the direction of that ball.
Tap the wrist, man. Walk it off. Walk it off.
And he gets shoved by Nurkic,
and
then
then
there's the wrist tap.
And then Nurk punched him in the chest.
And he's screaming, "It's my time!"
You know what?
It is.
You know what I really honestly like? I love the attitude. Like I love just that
The
swagger.
take no shit look
Oh
that
yeah,
he has.
tapping his wrist, just like fuck now, huh?
He's
What
like, if
now?
only Lil Wayne was here right now to see this.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's coming up in the next game.
I love that he shot.
There's the replay. And he's just slow motion jogging through the legs twice. Acts like he's going. The other guy even steps back and then realizes, "Oh no, I shouldn't have stepped
Ingram
back."
knew it was coming.
Look at the whole bench is
Zach
like
Collins
has lost
is
their
losing his mind.
lost their mind. But look at this.
Brandon Ingram knew that shot was coming, and all you can see it in his eyes that he's just going, "Don't bite on the fake, don't bite on the fake, don't bite on the fake." Lillard through the legs, pulls it up, and he's like, "Ah, shit! I just bit on the fake."
So look at the face. It goes.
Oh, that's the
Collins
best
has
O
an O
face.
face. Yeah.
No. Look, right here. It goes in, and look, no
There it
reaction.
goes.
He knew it's
Lillard
happening.
just straight laced.
And if we could all
Collins is in the air.
Collins just lost his virginity.
if we could all have enthusiasm like Collins, we would all be a better community.
No,
Man.
better yet, look at Ed Davis. Look at those steely eyes. Look at that gaze. Just-
yeah.
That's the boy.
Swanigan is
back
like
there.
straight up like growling. It's a beautiful thing. Ladies,
Folks.
gentlemen,
You know
This
what?
is your shot of the week.
To Dame game winners.
to winning the game.
So anyways, we got a second shot to do.
Wow, that
dude.
was
No.
actually remarkably smooth, despite the horrible, painful look on Brandon's face.
Yeah,
I don't know why I react so poorly to liquor.
So on
Oh,
that
man,
note,
look at that, man.
on a subscriber front, we have 153 subscribers, so we're gonna do a second shot for that. No,
All right.
no, we tried to talk. We tried to talk this.
That's
sissy
right.
into it.
We would like to thank all of you listening on the Apple Podcast app or other
Google
podcast,
Play or-
Google Play or whatever. 152 people subscribed.
153
Just
now.
count every one of you guys.
Yeah,
Oh,
take
my
us
goodness.
off there.
Honestly,
that's 150.
Honestly, if you were to ask me a week ago, so how many people are listening to this on any given week, I would have told you 8. That would have been my guess.
When he texted us earlier in the week and said, "Hey, ladies, gentlemen," I know his connotations, but and said we have
Conningtons?
153 subscribers.
Oh, and actually, almost, I think it's 15% of those are women. So
Oh.
we do have a lady
Not
base.
just
Wow,
our
we
wives.
actually have a demographic measuring
We have a
tool?
demographic, yes.
Anyways,
Oh,
when
the
he
future is here.
texted and said, "Hey, we have 153 subscribers," my literal response was, "How the fuck did that happen?"
Yeah.
My mind doesn't
every
really
single
comprehend.
week we keep growing. It's honestly it's putting it out there, sharing it, and people sharing it with their friends. I mean,
Tell your friends. I mean, if you listen to us driving to work, don't. But if you listen to us at the gym,
We wouldn't
pop
recommend-
open a beer.
we would not recommend driving and doing shot of the week.
That's
Gentlemen,
basically what I'm saying. Yeah,
gentlemen,
don't
will we-
drink and listen to this podcast
have a
if
question.
you're driving. However, other times, drink and listen to the podcast.
I do have
what
a
we're here
question.
for.
So does that make us both growers and showers?
To the Blazers.
All right, so moving on to the
The
staple
OK3 game.
win-
Let's go the OKC.
Don't frickin' say
Yeah,
it.
OK3.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, no, it was a battle of the which team has the best big three.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big three.
and-
OK3.
and I
no.
agree. It's basically a 3-on-3 pickup game.
So Brandon, as you were watching this game, what did you think about it?
Yeah, I have no words that can explain how good I feel.
You know what the best part about this really ultimately comes down to is, so what guy really decided this game most that wasn't a part of the big three on either team? Well,
None.
there's this guy named Adams, right?
Oh, I love a slow white guy in the middle that just couldn't chase anybody to save his life.
Yeah, he looks really mean too. That's the thing.
know.
Like you're looking at him, you're like, oh,
I
this
want-
guy could do some damage,
I want that man's beard.
and nothing. Like I mean, I'm a bad basketball player, but I started to think maybe I
Pretty
could
sure
play
you
center
could score
for those
20 on him.
guys.
I'm pretty sure you could score 20 on Adams.
I'm feeling optimistic after watching that game.
I'm blocking.
So many things to say about this game.
We-
First of all, it was chippy as hell.
Oh yeah.
So much just you could see people pissed off the entire time. Both sides.
I heard Westbrook say "fuck off." I heard
Very
Carmelo
clearly.
say "fuck off." I heard Felton say "fuck
well,
you."
both of those guys
Just earning it
leaving
all
off,
right now.
Leaving off Felton, both of those guys were just straight up out. Was it technicals within the first quarter for both of them?
I believe
The Melo might have been in the
believe
second.
Westbrook got his first. No, Melo got the first in the first. Westbrook got his in the second because Melo got his his second in the third. I believe. I could be wrong, but either way, they were.
Melo got
back
his
to back.
second in the third.
Yeah.
but I thought it went. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But still, they were just
Westbrook got it
screaming.
first. That's all I know.
Okay, yeah, Westbrook got the first one. I think the Melo one, it was weird because they didn't show him getting the technical on TV.
No,
But they
no.
came back and they said, and Dame just made a free throw from a technical for Carmelo Anthony doing something.
Yeah, I actually think it was Carmelo protesting Westbrook's technical, or a foul that they called against Westbrook, something along those lines.
It could be. Melo was angry. Westbrook was angry. Paul George just played. Paul George, I'll give that man credit. He is playing a fantastic basketball game. On the side note, I always thought it was against the NBA rules to keep your jersey untucked. And I know that man kept trying to front tuck his jersey in throughout the entirety of the game. But every time I saw him on camera, that thing was just flapping in the wind. I didn't see that, but I did feel, if we're going to talk Paul George for a moment, I did feel like Paul George was a guy I hoped we would get over the summer and knew we probably wouldn't. But hey, Paul, guys who are officially related to the team, not allowed to say these things. We're just fans. Come on over, man. Out of those big three, you're the guy I would want. You're not chasing the limelight. You're just contributing the entire time, working your backside off. And when you get the ball and when you get a chance to make a play, fuck yeah, you make the play. Now, mind you, I was pissed off at some of those plays.
Yeah, those
because you weren't on our team.
You chasing CJ with your threes,
But
damn.
I honestly left this game glad we didn't get Melo. Just fine with Westbrook being Westbrook, and actually thinking, man, I would love Paul George on my team.
I got a question on the Westbrook.
Actually, I have to interject real fast.
All right.
So you say work your back end off. That's the word you choose to censor? What the fuck, man?
Let me tell you about Paul George's backside. All right.
Anyways, no.
Anyways.
I want to bring this back to the Westbrook thing. So, and only because my mind is still blown by it. Westbrook, 3 bricked free throws
Oh,
in
I
a
was
row.
gonna bring that's the one thing I saw.
You could
No.
you technically say 4 because there was another round
No, there
before
was.
that.
But he got fouled on a 3-pointer, bricked his first shot, bricked his second shot, intentionally bricked his third shot, but then got called for jumping his own free throw.
When that happened, it was great. I love watching games with my wife because, mind you, I know I'm not the most educated basketball guy because I never played. I've just been
And
a
we're
fan
white.
for all of life. And also, yeah, when we watched that Suns game a couple weeks ago, I think I sent the text that I was making fun of the guy who was smaller than everyone else. And then it turns out he's as tall as I am. And he's just, relatively speaking, a midget. So I get
NBA
it.
terms.
Yeah. It turns out 5'10" makes you non-existent in the NBA. Anyway,
Unless your name
moving
is Isaiah Thomas. who's
moving
5'9".
forward, I think I'm moving forward. Who knows?
Certainly not a power forward.
No,
Powerball.
not at all. But watching the game, it's always great when my wife calls out things, and she just was freaked out at how could Russell Westbrook, who she's watched these games with me for years, how could he miss 3 straight? I had to explain that he intentionally missed the third, but he's an idiot. And she got all the joy in the world. Hey, by the way, wife, I love you. Christmas is coming.
I do believe
Damian
you
Lillard shoes.
immediately
Lillard
said-
shit. And Lillard
when I
shoes.
gave him when I shot him shade on our group text, I do believe you just said my wife is literally LOLing.
Oh yeah, no, she was cackling. She could not have been more satisfied at the.
I cannot picture your
Listen.
wife having a cackle.
It comes out on occasion. My wife is generally a giggler more than a cackler.
At least he didn't
But
say giggler.
at the right moment.
That'd have been weird.
Anyways, so back to the OKC game.
And
you
that's
know,
the shots at
you
me.
know, Damian Lillard, as we were saying, his eyes lit the fuck up whenever he saw Adams covering him in a pick and
Oh
roll.
man.
It was that man's Christmas every time Adams got switched onto him. And so
was-
that just goes back to what I was saying earlier, is that the Blazers' offense is best when Nurk is involved in a pick and roll. Whether it be Damon Nurk, CJ Nurk, ET and Nurk. The offense is clicking on those
That was the
fronts.
thing that got Dame into the league, was that he could pick and roll hard in college, even if it was in technically a second-rate college.
And coming into the league, then being paired with LaMarcus Aldridge, that's not a bad NBA partner to learn the game with.
Oh yeah, and that pick and pop was scary.
Yeah.
In a related note, hey LaMarcus, I mean I miss you. I know
Don't
you
come
probably
back.
miss us more, but I miss you. You were a good guy. It was great to have you. I hope all's going okay for you over there. I mean,
You're the tiny bobblehead.
it's
the
I
big
miss you,
bobbleheads.
bud. I understand. I mean, if you ever come back at the twilight of your career, that's fine. Try and make amends,
I
but
thought his Twilight was last year.
feels like it. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not a vampire or werewolf,
He's
but
retiring
whatever.
a Spur, and you missed out on $68 million.
Yeah. But anyways,
Well, with
so,
taxes, it kind of almost.
so the
leveled out.
highlight
The
of
taxes,
the
yes.
highlight of last night's game is that our big three beat out Oklahoma City's big
Oh,
three.
they did so hard too.
83 points compared to 67 points. Obviously, the Melo ejection massively helps that, because I think at the time that Melo was ejected, he had 16 points, and he averages 21 a game. So tack on another 5, that kind of brings a balance to it. But either way, it's our big three is now kind of finding their
Well,
way.
and Melo was the scariest looking guy on that team in the first quarter.
He is
Westbrook was a non-factor until somewhere in the second quarter.
Melo is the only player, obviously minus
Yeah.
Westbrook, who's been on that team for a while, that I thought would mesh the best between Melo and George, because Melo is a long, lengthy number
Yeah.
3.
Well-
he can spell KD
Well,
perfectly.
the beauty of what they're doing
Two
over
letters,
there,
so it should
and
be-
I mean the announcers called it out last night, and it was true. When you get any one of those 3 guys out there with the jobbers and let the other 2 guys sit, they do pretty damn good, because all 3 of them can hero ball with a few guys as accessories. All 3 of them specialize in that.
Paul George is, I think, their specialist on that.
Yeah.
Because he does it silently. He doesn't draw attention to
Oh,
himself.
Paul
He-
George. That's why I opened up with that whole Paul George, come on over, because I think he'd be a hell of a guy to have as our 4th guy. I mean, technically our 3rd. I would rank him above Nurkic as far as general, capability of producing. But maybe not most impactful relative of the two of them, but I think if you put him out there and we have one more guy who can shoot and create his own shot and also just be a threat, the entire NBA would be shaking in their boots.
As long as we're talking about impactful player, in all honesty, with those last 2 games of the Blazers, who do you think is the 4th most impactful? Because, I mean, like, you look at the stat line, and I think, Brandon, yesterday, you texted, and you're like, oh, my gosh, this game was a 3-person game with Dave,
3-on-3.
Nurk, and CJ.
Yeah.
But
That's what you
Evan
said.
Turner having
Confirmed
the
it.
massive defensive presence. He was tasked with guarding either Westbrook or George.
Yeah.
Well, if you're
And
asking,
he did
and he
an
worked hard.
admirable job.
are you asking who we think the number 4 player is? Aminu.
Okay.
This
Or of that-
season
of that game?
so far, mostly. Though, I mean, Von Lay, it's a tiny sample size. But we've seen in 2 games, and we saw it a whole bunch last year, when you have Von Lay and you have Nurkic on the court at the same time, those two do great stuff together, and they play off each other well. Also in the OKC game, I noticed Stotts was doing this weird rotation thing, not the whole time, but a lot of it, where he would send out Nurkic and Von Lay, they would both leave, and Ed Davis and Swanigan would come in together. And mind you, Ed Davis was definitely covering for Swanigan. Swanigan's not there yet. I hate to say it because I love Swanigan and I love what he does. And he had moments still in that game, but there were a lot more moments where you're like, Swanigan.
I will throw this at you. So with Aminu out, obviously there's a massive hole in the defense.
Yeah.
But with not counting Aminu, Davis is part of 4 out of the 5 best offenses and defenses that the Blazers run out there.
Oh yeah. And
There's only one other lineup that does not include Davis. And so I will give that man all the credit in the world.
And I would make the comment that Ed Davis is maybe, while I wouldn't necessarily say the best guy, he is my favorite Blazer. And he has been for a couple years. Last season, I was a little questionable.
You did text me last night and said
injuries
erectile
will do that.
dysfunction is your favorite player now.
Yeah, he's back, mostly because this season he's come
Erectile
back
dysfunction's
hard.
back.
Oh, Mr. ED.
I just love it when he texts ED. That counts.
It's empty. It's
That didn't fly when I said it. It doesn't fly when you say it.
And there's a spilt beer, ladies and gentlemen. This one goes to Mr. Brandon Kennedy. Is that your first of
That's
the
his
season?
first of the year.
Okay, so
I was transitioning my hand.
We got two Whitties. We got one for me and one for Mr.
No,
Kennedy.
we've got
three Whitties. One for you, one for him.
So we're tied for the beers. But to be fair,
cheers. Yours is empty. Let's get a new one.
To be fair, I was doing this number. I was transitioning.
Hey, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I tried to talk my way out of a spilt beer, and you were having none of it. So you can't talk your way out of dick squat right now.
And there he goes.
I'm
He
gonna
gets
be
another
grasping the beer firmly here. So let's go ahead and move on, okay? So
hold on. On this game, we did miss one really important thing.
And that was Dame going 15 of 15 from the free throw line, or
No, the
little Wayne.
no, it was basketball related plays. It was, it's when you go to try and make a shot, and on the way up you realize there's a
Reddit,
defender
folks.
right there, and you can elbow him in the face on your way to the lay-in.
Oh, you're talking about Melo trying to take off Nurk's head. And
No,
then
it was a
everybody-
basketball related play. Look on Reddit. Every OKC fan says so. Basketball related play.
I'm just gonna say the only person's opinion that I care about is the NBA officiating office, who came out and said you cannot go to the rim and then immediately move the upper half of your. Oh, you were hoping
That was almost another spill.
that you cannot move the entire upper half of your body into another player and throw your elbow into him and expect to get an and one.
So
My favorite part of that was then going
I mean,
back
you
on,
can if your name's James Harden, but
My
that's
fav-
beside the point.
My favorite part of that was going back and watching the YouTube feed.
Yeah.
Stop touching my mic. I'm talking loud enough into it. Anyways, my favorite part of that was watching the YouTube feed of
The Oklahoma City cast.
the Oklahoma City cast, and they're going, "Oh, that's an and one. Oh, that's an and one. Oh, why is Nurk trying to sell this foul? He's not going to get it. Oh my God, that's a flagrant 2 on Melo. Where was the foul? It was
I
total
believe it
contact
was the
by
moment
Nurk.
where he saw Nurk was there, twisted his body into his
Heard
face.
the whistle and then threw the ball at the hoop.
Now, actually, for me, am I the only one here who is more shocked that the Blazers got a call in their favor this week?
So I was listening to another podcast. And
Stop doing that.
I do this a lot with NBA podcasts, and someone was
You can only
making
give
fun
them
of
credit if they give
Portland
us
fans for getting mad because turns out Dame gets a bunch of superstar calls. Why can we be mad about other people getting those?
I'm sorry. When did
are
Dame get a
these
superstar call this week?
I was looking for any of those ever.
Are these said
couple
podcasts
here and
with
there.
a Jazz fan and a Timbers fan?
Timberwolves fan, yeah.
Timbers?
Yeah,
don't
actually, no. I
believe
think it's
Dame
a
plays
it's a
soccer.
Timberwolves and a Nuggets fan. But yeah, and they
Yeah,
cover our
yeah,
division,
yeah.
And they're nice guys.
let's go ahead
And
and do a
somewhere
divisional.
down the road, maybe we'll get them on the show. But
when they start getting correct eyeballs.
When they start
or
red.
listen, I'm a fan of having diverse perspectives. Speaking of other perspectives, wasn't there somebody we were supposed to talk about much earlier in the game or in the show? Another perspective we were going to bring in. I feel like there was another guy who was going to be on the show coming up.
Not yet.
Yeah, that's the end. That's
Oh,
the
we're gonna
surprise.
end with
That's
that.
our closer.
That's the hook.
Oh man,
I should have.
closer.
We should have introed with that.
We should have teased with it at least. Teased that that's coming.
Hey guys,
So we've got
stay
a guest
tuned. In
host.
the next 6 minutes, we have an important announcement.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't even know where we're at in time right now.
Anyway, so we got 2 games coming up next week. That's where we're at. Memphis Grizzlies on Tuesday and the Nets on Friday.
Mr.
The
AC,
return of
the host.
The return of
Alan
Alan
Crabb.
Crabbe.
Actually, is it in their house?
No,
Oh no, it's in our house. Yeah.
no, we got crabs in our house. That's
Oh yeah.
Oh man, we're gonna have to use some specialty shampoos or
anyway.
something.
So right now, Blazers tied with Grizzlies 6-4. 3-way tie for 4th, unless it's a beer bet, and then Brandon wins it because they're in 5th.
So I think that'll be the better game of this week. I don't know. I mean, their lineup is weird.
It is.
I have no idea how they're winning like they're winning right now.
It's
I mean,
Marc
yeah,
Gasol and his
yeah.
3-point
Yeah,
percentage.
Gasol and company. Like, exactly. How are they pulling this off? I don't get it. It's kind of like Atlanta beating Cleveland and I think potentially beating Celtics today.
I
haven't
thought
seen
the
it.
Grizzlies were gonna
Actually,
drop.
I'm kind of curious.
I thought the Grizzlies were gonna drop off the face of the earth as soon as Randolph was off the team.
No, and then but then the what where are they at now? They're way down
I don't
here.
know. You're scrolling.
Oh,
He's
wait.
looking.
Oh, Kings 1 win, 8 loss.
I
28 power ranking.
dare you to pull up Randolph's minutes. It's gonna blow your mind on that stat. But either way, the Grizzlies game, I think that'll be the most highly contested.
Okay, Celtics.
Agreed.
The Nets game on Friday.
That I think will be the more fun to watch because Alan Crabbe,
return of
we
Alan
don't
Crabbe.
miss you. Sorry, I wanted to miss you, but somehow Pat Connaughton, he's a better version of you. I don't. I mean, we're only 10 games in. It may not stick, but how? Pat Connaughton, everybody. Pat Connaughton. Yeah.
Again, my token white guy. So I made this joke to somebody earlier in the week, and they were asking me about Pat Connaughton. They're like, "Are you surprised?" I was like, "A contributing
Pat
white guy
Connaughton.
off the bench? Of course he's wearing number 5. Go back to your research."
Thank you, Rudy Fernandez, and some others. Thank you. So
Steve
with that
Blake
said,
once wore it.
if we're going to talk the Nets game, I suppose that brings us to this week's beer bet. Beer bet of the week. I feel like we should just take that and add some bad dance techno music with those sound bites we just gave, and
Insert
that's
here.
our bumper for this.
I wanted to see where I was
All right,
at, by the way.
ladies and gentlemen, so the beer bet of the week, because Alan Crabbe's back, it will be in honor of his time and service to us, as we all do miss him. Alan Crabbe,
Never mind YMCA over here.
I'm AC-ing it. AC.
he's doing a
you could have
dance
just
for those of you
blown
listening
cold
on
air at us
audio.
and called it good.
I've
I'm
had
sitting
shots.
here and I just don't even know what to do with life.
Okay, here we go. Shot of the week.
Shot of the week. That was earlier.
We did that.
How
like
much alcohol
10
have you
minutes
had?
ago.
This is what happens when you work out, eat healthy, and drink one beer and a shot all week
you know
long.
what?
So, ladies and
Do
gentlemen,
what the rest of us do and just drink all day in preparation for the show.
I have a job. I can't do that. Oh, I'm out of alcohol again.
I own a business. I
anyhow.
can't do it.
Selfless plug.
Anyhow,
bring it
moving
on.
right along.
I didn't
so
talk
the
about
beer
triple
bet of
R
this week, in
construction and
honor of
maintenance.
Alan Crabb, is during this game, and it's a moving target. Alan Crabb averaging about 11 points for New Jersey.
11.2.
But will he have the night of his life, or will he be a complete dump?
The question is unknown. But the question is, which Blazer will get the closest score to Alan Crabb? So each of the three of us pick a Blazer. Closest score wins the beer bet. Furthest score buys the beer.
Green.
Loser goes first.
Go first.
I lost last time, so based on averages, but still with the potential to rise or fall with him, I'm going with Yusuf Nurkic. I feel like that's a fairly reasonable point equivalent.
So 11.2. You're
27? All right, I can take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, cool.
So
Well, he might get a lot, but I mean, he has a lot of low-scoring games.
fine.
Because he does a lot
I
more
will-
As of the
assisting
last
fishing.
two? No.
I will volunteer myself to buy beer based on this one, but I'm gonna hang my hat on Evan Turner again.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Even after
Now I
a
gotta-
0-point
And
game
I
recently.
killed Brandon's vote.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go with a Harkless. So,
So we've got Nurkic, Turner, and Harkless
Yep.
all trying to tie one of the main options for New Jersey, Mr. Alan Crabb. So that'll be...
If you click in that, I can't click in it.
I'm in my own.
We've got group show docs, and they're both trying to edit live, and I'm just sitting here like,
Nope, I'm good.
I got paper and a pen to write my notes. I'm from the future.
I got prepared.
Anyways, so we're gonna wrap up this show by
Probably for the best.
yeah, true. But I don't know how big of fans you all are of the next two guests, but we're rather fucking excited.
Incredibly
To
excited.
say the least.
So next week we will have none other than Emmy-winning sports broadcaster Adam Bjarnson joining
fact.
us right here in this room. Probably
He
sitting.
is coming to sit in
He's
my
probably gonna
office.
sit right in here.
He'll be either on my lap or next to me. That's still to be
I
determined.
mean, we do have a little gap over to my left.
So I will say this too. We were all at the Blazer game against the Suns.
True
and
fact.
We were getting beer at Widmere, and who is behind us? But
When
none
I
other?
made that man buy me a beer, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we're
well,
like, oh my gosh.
Thanks for the better tickets.
So we're standing there like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go over there and introduce ourselves. So we do, and
Dude throws down a promo for us.
a high turns into a promo to a I love to be in your show.
At which point I chase him down with some emails. I threw out an email about 5 days ago, got no answer back, chased him down today. I was like, hey, just seeing what you're up to, bro. And he's like, oh my God, you were totally on my list of people to get back to. And, 15 emails later, this man will be here next week.
Mr. Adam
on our
Bjarnson.
show,
We are
partaking
looking
in
forward
our
to
shot
it.
of the week, beer bet of the week, all that fun stuff.
Oh, man. Is he doing shot of the week, too?
Oh, he's here for shot of the week.
Oh,
and,
man.
And in his own words, he cannot wait to be part of the Bottles Popped.
No.
We've all officially been on the board. Will you?
And
course he
then I believe it's the
What?
week.
Wait, there's more than one?
Wait.
The
Wait, we
week
got
af-
more than one
I believe
celebrity guest?
it's you can't air quote around the 71st most popular sports radio host in the country.
71.
These
It's
are
been
ranked.
It's
folks.
been their longtime goal to make it to 69, and they just want to end They just want to end it there. Honestly, you listen to their show. If anybody got that reference, you already know I'm talking about Isaac and Suk, and we will have one Mr. Isaac Ropp
Yeah.
on the show the following week.
I'm very
On the
excited
20th.
about that.
So, folks, we have back-to-back excitement on this show. You will definitely want to stay tuned for that.
And I have no freaking clue where I'm going for
Tell your
like
friends.
fetching out celebrity interviews after that.
I'm pretty sure
I'm pretty
we
much tapping
voted-
out after that. It's up to
I
these
mean,
two fuckers after
We've
this.
got a couple other irons in the fire, but I mean, the fact that these two guys agreed to be on our show, hell yes.
Pretty exciting stuff. So with that said, we have Adam next week. Ryan's out of beer or Green's out of beer.
I've got one drop.
I still
one
got
drop.
beer.
But on that note, guys, thanks again for watching.
Adam
next week,
Rob the week after. But no matter what, go
Blazers!
Blazers!
Go Blazers.
I gotta pee.